John Eats Cheap with our final Iowa State Fair treat. And this is a sweet one and kind of healthy, right? Because it's a fruit. It's an apple. This is Applelicious. We love these at the Iowa State Fair. And I'm going to make it's sliced apples with a caramel sauce that, thanks to Mrs. Cheap, she found it from one of her favorites, the Pioneer Woman. It's a caramel sauce that's a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of half and half a stick of butter, and a tablespoon of vanilla. That's it. It only takes like 7 minutes to make. A great caramel sauce on the apple. Carameled apples, Applelicious from the Iowa State Fair. So we got our ingredients all ready. Pan heating up. I'll add the half a stick of butter. That's 4 tablespoons. We're just going to melt that a little bit before we add the brown sugar. By the way, I just want to show you what we're having for dinner tonight. A little homemade beef stew simmering here on the back. Oh yeah. I don't remember if we made that one or not. I think we have made that one. Maybe we'll throw a link in. It's really good stuff. So our butter is mostly melted. We add the 1 cup of brown sugar. That is a lot of brown sugar. I'm just going to mix that in a little. And we'll add, no, we don't add it yet. Mrs. Cheap says, no, don't add it yet. Okay, we're going to mix this up and let it caramelize a little. Just get fully incorporated. See, Mrs. Cheap makes this. I don't usually make the sweet recipes.
You're good now.
Now I'm good? Okay. It's the Mrs. Cheap show. Half a cup of half and half. Mrs. Cheap says you can use, whole milk or just regular milk if you want, but it won't be as good, so don't use that. I'm sure you could use margarine instead of butter, but not in my house, because it won't be as good. And to this, we're going to incorporate this just a bit, and we have to add a pinch of salt. So I'm going to do that right now. Pinch of salt. We're just going to mix this for 5 to 7 minutes. Until it starts really looking like caramel, then we'll add our tablespoon of vanilla. We're only like a minute or 2 in, and it looks like caramel already. But don't be fooled. That's not caramel yet. We're 4 minutes in. It looks very caramely. Needs to be thicker, though, but that'll happen. Let's just keep mixing. Another 3 or 4 minutes here. So this is a point where I'm paying a lot of attention, and I'm like, wow, I just keep constantly stirring. You could go the easy route and buy caramel sauce, for a couple of bucks. This is less than a couple of bucks, and it's homemade, and it's nice and hot, and you feel a lot better when you make stuff homemade. Plus, it's cheaper. We're caramelizing nicely. So this is the point where it really smells good, and you really want to just dip your finger in for a taste, but don't ever do that. This is molten lava. Time to add our tablespoon of vanilla. Usually I would just do it. Mrs. Cheap would just do a splash. I'm going to measure it though. Straight from Mexico. Lasts forever. Indefinite shelf life. Buy 2 when you're there, and you're good for life. Well, that cooled it down a little bit. Boy, it smells good, though. Woo! Just get it to thicken up a little bit more. So we added our vanilla. We got to mix another minute or 2. And the recipe says if you use cream, we didn't have any cream on hand. Cream will thicken up a little more, which makes sense. Milk, a little less. We did the half and half, which is kind of in between. And it's thickening up a little here. We'll go another minute after adding our vanilla, but it smells fantastic. All right, let's finish off our Applelicious. This is just a red delicious. By the way, every house needs one of these. We've had one since I was a kid, an apple slicer and corer. It's never perfect, but boy, it does the job. Usually, there we go. And slice that apple. Look at that. Perfect apple slices. Takes the core out. These are probably bigger than Applelicious. They might cut them a little. Maybe I'll cut these just kind of in half. But look at that. And the core is out. There you go. Had one of those since I was a kid. Let me grab a knife real quick. I just want to get these into bite-sized pieces. And then we're going to add our caramel sauce, which smells great. And you can use whatever apples you want. I know they use probably a green one or a granny something or other, and I'm not much in apples. Just the red delicious that looks so pretty. And the great thing is this makes a ton of sauce. And we're going to save some for dessert this weekend. This sauce will keep in the fridge for a couple of weeks. You just put it in a jar, glass container. We're just going to pour it over the apples. I like this so much better with apple pieces. I like the flavor of carameled apples, but they're so hard to eat. That's why I love these at the State Fair, the Applelicious carameled apple pieces. Oh, look at that. It's like caramel soup with apple chunks. Now you got to be careful because it's going to be really hot. It's tough for me to do, to be careful. So there we go. Kind of healthy. I mean, it's fruit, right? Iowa State Fair food option. The Applelicious carameled apples. I would eat that without the apples. Holy cow. I got to get a spoon for this. So this will get a little thicker as you let it cool off, but look at that. And I'm going to use a spoon. See, it's already getting thicker. Oh, I'm not kidding you. This caramel is awesome. And I am not a caramel fan. Mm-hmm. Remember that beef stew I showed you? I think I'm just going to have this. This is great. Winding up Iowa State Fair recipes. Going to miss you, Fair. Make sure you subscribe. Click like. Be notified. Click on the bell. Johnny's Cheap. I have a lot of fun doing these. I hope you like watching them too. And eat well.